Hello and welcome, folks. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Clark Dumart, and I am not only our business development executive here at Real Amtrak Vacations, but I'm going to be your host and tour guide today for today's topic and one of my favorite personal destinations, along with one of our most popular worldwide destinations, Canada. And for me, it's personally one of my favorites because most of my family is from that area. I've been to it growing up over the years a number of times, and it's just one of the most beautiful, most easily accessible countries outside the United States. So let's get into it. Here's our first off, I wanted to display our map here. So this is, of course, our Amtrak map, all in red there. However, the one that we're going to be focusing on today mostly is going to be that dark blue line across Canada at the top part of your screen. That is what we call the Via Rail, VIA. So if you have never really heard of this or not that familiar, Via Rail is essentially Canada's version of Amtrak. And that is going to be the main four diamond type train you are going to be utilizing with many of our Canada packages. Now, why take the train, might you ask? Why not fly? Well, not everyone flies. If you're the type of person that really doesn't like to fly or maybe doesn't at all, or maybe you want to try something a little bit different and just kind of sit back and relax, well, the train might be a perfect solution for you. And we are here to help. Why take the train though? There are no lines. There are no stresses when you are going through that train station. You can see the beauty in many of these stations. They really have such amazing architecture at many of those larger stations throughout Canada, many in the United States as well with Amtrak. But it's not like an airport. You're going to find that it's a lot more relaxing vibe throughout. Now, anytime you are taking a long distance train, you might have noticed that going across Canada probably takes a bit of time, and you are absolutely correct. We always recommend upgrading to a sleeper accommodations. Now, on Amtrak, like Via Rail, there are private sleeper cabins that you can book that provide access to a lot more amenities on board that you will find. So, not only are you getting a private room, but you're also getting beds to sleep in. You're getting access to toilets with a shower. And then you also are going to have kind of your own area, just sort of relax, get away from it, but access to the dining car, access to the observation car throughout your journey. Now, how do we get into Canada? Let's say you're not planning to fly at all. There are three entry points throughout the United States, two of which on the East Coast and one on the West Coast. So the Maple Leaf coming out of New York City goes up through upper part of New York and then a western part of the state, and then into Canada through Niagara Falls and Buffalo in that area, and actually goes as far as Toronto, where you'll be able to link right up with the Via Rail. It's very, very convenient. Another option here is the Adirondack, which was actually reintroduced back into the system as the last train finally from COVID a few years back. But this one also starts in New York City at the southern point, goes straight up through upstate New York and into Canada, ending in Montreal. Perfect for packages that you might be building as a focus in Eastern Canada. The Cascades in Western Canada. This is actually one of the most reliable trains in the entire country, and we always recommend this. It also provides some of the best scenery out of any of the short distance trains. You might notice it goes through upstate Oregon and through Washington, and the entry point is going to be just north of Seattle into Vancouver. And we do have this train twice per day. The other trains actually just go once per day. So we can cater it to wherever you're starting or ending from. To make it, as convenient as possible for you. Now, this one's a little bit more detailed of a map, a fairly simple Via Rail map. You can see as far as it goes east to west coast, all the way from Vancouver, all the way as far east as Halifax in Nova Scotia, but also did you know it also goes as far north as Churchill? In fact, when I was a salesperson back when I first started here, I remember building a couple of trips for some of our guests that called in and wanted to see the polar bears and the northern lights. And lo and behold, Via Rail can actually be a great way to do that. A little more complicated, but we don't see that too many of those compared to some of these other destinations. But in any case, please think of us, and we are here to help you to build your next big Canada vacation utilizing the train. Now, on the V Rail, just much like Amtrak, there are sleeping accommodations available, but in my opinion, it actually is a little bit nicer. You're getting a little bit better service, just a little more quality of just the amenities, in my opinion. I think the Via Rail, they really take pride in their twice a week trek that it makes from end to end between Vancouver and Toronto, and also from Quebec City to Halifax. Actually, are two different long distance trains going through Canada. And just like Amtrak, when you do have a sleeper plus class rather, you select one of those options. All of your meals are going to be included: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're going to get access to the dining car, the observation car, and you'll get your own space. Now we have a number of different options, ranging from just a basic sleeper plus with maybe a berth, an upper or lower level berth, or one of the cabins, either a cabin for one, two, and three. And if you're looking to get the absolute most luxurious option, you can see in the bottom left corner is a little sneak peek of what the prestige cabin actually looks like. In fact, it's the only bed that's large enough for two people on the lower level. So just keep that in mind. We could definitely take a look at availability when you are ready, depending on when you're trying to make this trip happen. Now, did you know the Rocky Mountaineer? I wonder if this is familiar to any of you. If it is, you are in luck, because we are one of Rocky's biggest partners, and we can actually combine a booking using Rocky Mountaineer and Via Rail. Maybe you just want to do the Rocky Mountaineer. We can help you out with that, of course, and we have complete flexibility with hotels, tours, transfers, dates, which I will actually get more into shortly here. We always recommend upgrading for just a little bit more, getting that gold leaf over silver leaf. Nothing wrong with silver leaf, but again, if you want to get the most inclusive, gold leaf is going to be my suggestion, because you get a full host of included meals, beverages, snacks, amazing hosts on board. I mean, it is one of the best experiences you can take in Canada. Actually, my aunt and uncle are taking their dream trip this spring. So hopefully, if any of you are interested, you can follow in their footsteps. I'm glad they took advantage of this amazing route that we can book. And by the way, we have hundreds and thousands of tours in our database worldwide. Actually, in Canada, we have so many destinations. You have complete control over what tours and activities you want to include to make it your vacation. And there's going to be no two trips alike, right? So we could completely customize it. One of my favorite excursions, keep this in mind if you are looking to do Western Canada and the Canadian Rockies, is the Glacier Skywalk. Now, I will mention, if you are not a fan of heights, this is probably not going to be your favorite. However, just be open minded. It is a great opportunity to conquer those fears of heights, or just get some of the best one of a kind views of the Canadian Rockies. And when I say one of a kind, I mean that there's really no other place like this in the world. You can see it goes out about 30 meters, that glass walkway. Don't worry, it's completely safe, but definitely something that you could take advantage of on one of our many excursions through the Rockies. Now talking about Eastern Canada, a little bit different, right? Not as mountainous. It's a little bit different, but honestly, it's tons of amazing culture and history. Montreal, of course, one of the most vibrant cities of Eastern Canada, one of the highlights of most of our Eastern Canada packages, as well as Quebec City, which why not visit Old Quebec or stay in Old Quebec? You can see one of the more magnificent five-star accommodations that we can offer, sit right on the St. Lawrence River there. This looks like it's in the wintertime, but we could go year-round, by the way. So you don't have to go in winter, just as this picture might indicate. But if you want to go in the summer, you want to go in the fall or the spring, and just, if you're flexible, we can find the best dates to get you the best value for your trip. Part of Eastern Canada, of course, Niagara Falls. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention one of the wonders of natural world here. And one of my favorite national parks that I've been to about 6 or 7 times. Again, visiting family every year, we'd always be sure to make a stop there. And I've stayed on both sides of the falls, the U.S. and Canada. You can't go wrong with either. If you want my opinion, Canadian side maybe offers a little bit better views, and they're a little bit more perched up from a higher altitude. But you can certainly let us know so we can cater it to your needs the most. Toronto, one of the best cities in the world, in my opinion. Honestly, I'd live there if I didn't live in Boston. But honestly, you could see this stunning skyline. I don't know who took this photo, but wow! I hope that's not edited. That looks completely natural to me. Toronto is one of the best cities in the world. In my opinion, there's so much history there. The folks are super friendly. There's so much to do and see, of course, and it is included on many of our trips that may involve Montreal, Quebec, or of course, Niagara Falls. And of course, Toronto is the taking off point going across Canada. That's on your agenda. What's really, really nice that we offer a range of hotels ranging from 3 to 5 diamond level. And you see some examples here. And by the way, if you're on the Canadian side, these all have views of the falls. And that's why it's a big reason as to why I recommend Canada over the US side. Nothing against the US, of course. If you want the views, you got to stay on the Canada side. Now, our team will offer the best rail expert knowledge. We know the schedules inside and out, and make you the best suggestions to make the most convenient experience. I thought, why not include some of our most popular and featured Canadian vacations? One thing I do want to just point out, you may notice that some of these vacation packages that I'm going to display here are on the longer side, anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks in length. And of course, if you've got the time and the budget to do so, please take advantage. You get the most out of your entire trip that way. Otherwise, you are of course free to shorten as much as you need to and change the number of nights in each of the cities, any of those components. You can even pick the hotel out of any of the hundreds that are in our database. So we can really make it your trip, really get down to customizing it. Why not do the best of Eastern Canada? This one actually goes all the way down from Quebec to DC. And actually, in Quebec City, just to drive home that point, we have a range of 3, 4, and 5 diamond hotels that you can see here. Now, the West Coast, of course, this is kind of the ultimate bucket list. This is about a 3 week with our Grand Pacific Coast Rail journey. Remember, you can shorten this as much or as little as you like. But if this is on your bucket list, please, many of these cities we see every single day. The cross Canada trip, this is actually probably the number one most popular type of Canada trip that we see with the Via Rail, and it incorporates, of course, Eastern Canada all the way in Halifax, overnights to Quebec City and to Montreal, and then Toronto, where it connects to the Canadian and actually does a stop in the Canadian Rockies for a couple of days, and then over to Vancouver. Now this one you'll notice this is like kind of the ultimate all-in North American trip in my opinion, but you might notice there's not really a start point on this. And the reason for that is we can customize the start point from anywhere you want it to be. There are almost 500 different Amtrak and V-Rail stations. So just let us know where you're located. We'll customize it to fit exactly where would be the most convenient for you to pick up the train, whether it's an Amtrak or Via-Rail. Okay, so just keep that all in mind. Now, just to kind of summarize everything, the choice is yours, folks. We have a completely flexible booking window, anytime from today up to 2 years in advance. In fact, we're the only vendor provider that can book and confirm rail up to 2 years in advance. So we have complete flexibility. We incorporate trains, hotels, tours, some transfers, all in one convenient location for you. We are the train experts. We speak train, like that's our saying around here. We speak the language. We've got that customizable hotel selection of 3, 4, and 5 star. We have a completely customizable vacation collection, hundreds, thousands of tours and hotels in our database, and we can start from any location. With that, I hope that gives you kind of a nice little base starting point. And if you are looking to get an itinerary built, if this has inspired you, any of those destinations that I just showed on this presentation, please give us a call today. The phone number is on your screen, 1-800-268-7252. By the way, we are open 7 days a week. Our experts are ready to take your call and assist you with very minimal wait times, if any. And also, if you're interested, please hop on our website, amtrakvacations.com, take a look at what we offer, and you can start from there. So again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your week.